So let's go ahead and kick it off. Just a quick agenda of what we'll be talking about today. First, we're going to run through exactly who is UpDocs and the partnership we have with Practice Fusion. We're going to go into identifying the key problems at your practice, at least that are contributed to the efficiency of your practice, the solution involved with those, UpDocs in action, how it actually helps your day-to-day routine, and then a quick Q&A. So just quickly, UpDocs and Practice Fusion, we joined forces in 2015 to provide Practice Fusion users a streamlined administrative process. Historically, healthcare has been super delayed when it comes to technology and advancements in operations. But with UpDocs and Practice Fusion, you actually have the ability to leverage a single application to do the tedious manual work involved in the daily grind at your practice. So today, over 3,000 users of Practice Fusion also use UpDocs. We are the exclusive electronic fax and document management partner, meaning we are the only integrated option for you to push and pull data directly from patients' charts. And how do we help you exactly? First of all, big thing, we help you eliminate the paper trail. So with those manual operations that a lot of practices are using, you see all of those paper costs, having to scan and rescan documents, having to print out full patient's history, and dependent on what kind of practice you are, those can be huge amounts of files having to print out, scan, and then put back into the chart. It's a ton of work and a ton of time that your staff spends doing these processes. We help you improve productivity. So eliminating these manual operations gives your staff back that time that they spend walking to and from the fax machine, to and from the scanner, to and from the printer, trying to track down the provider to get a signature on something to sign off to then only scan back into the computer and then add to the patient's chart or send out electronically or send out via fax. That also includes the time spent trying to send a fax, and when it fails, what happens then? You have to stand there at the fax machine and wait to see if it's been delivered or not. So we help improve that productivity and that time spent doing those things. We also help you streamline communication. So that means that provider to provider or provider to the care team, all of that communication, whether it's internal or external, we're going to have that going in and out of UpDocs and then easily accessing all of the information in Practice Fusion to pull PHI out and send directly and rapidly, or pull it back into the EMR as well. So let's go into the problem portion. Obviously, every practice we talk to, things could be better when it comes to efficiency. But identifying some of these key problems in the healthcare system, especially when it comes to administrative operations, will be key in creating the best solution and best fit for your practice, especially when implementing new technology. So first of all, did you know that 76 forms are generated on a daily basis for a single physician to fill out? That accounts for up to 20,000 forms annually. That's not just business days. That's every single day. If a patient is seeing a referral source, or if somebody is referring a patient to your practice, all of these forms, all of this paperwork is hitting your staff, is hitting your computer, is hitting your printer, and needing to be printed out. That is a ton of paper. And not to mention, if you're going green, obviously that's a big deal, but also just the amount of time and effort it takes your staff to fill these things out, sort through what they need to actually file, and kind of deem what's important and what's not. Over 47% of physicians feel burnout due to overwhelming administrative and bureaucratic duties. So that means those government regulations that you're having to deal with, that means those different administrative tasks that you have to do necessary to keep your business running. All of those things are contributing to burnout. I've looked into a couple different studies, but it all comes back to these things, these stressors, these outliers that you're not necessarily feeling on a daily basis, but add up to a huge amount of stress. 86% of healthcare mistakes add up to be administrative errors, whether that be misfiling to the wrong patient's chart, whether that be sending out the wrong PHI, or whether that be accidentally sending a whole chart to the wrong person or the wrong fax number. These administrative errors are dangerous and they're risky for your practice. So making sure that you have a system in place to make sure these things are going out correctly and not being miscommunicated is huge and has a very big impact on your practice. And finally, 50% of office administrations surveyed recently agree that administrative duties are the biggest thing keeping them up all night. A lot of providers say staying financially viable and administrative errors kind of tie for their biggest worries at night, but your office staff say that these administrative tasks that they have to do on a daily basis are really the things keeping them up. Yet we're still using all of these outdated operations and all of these outdated systems that really drag your staff productivity down. So what can you do about it? By implementing systems like UpDocs that are fully integrated with your EMR, practices are able to better communicate with other providers. They're able to kind of go around that miscommunication or that misstep of filing. All of this is accessible directly at your fingertips without having to print anything, scan anything, or try to track down a fax number or a direct secure email. So we help you streamline this communication coming in and out of the office. We help send out that PHI directly from Practice Fusion and send rapidly without printing or scanning documents, as well as eliminate the manual operations that are truly hindering your practice from becoming experts at efficiency. So let's just quickly walk through exactly what UpDocs has to offer for the Practice Fusion users. With UpDocs for Practice Fusion, users have access to a single sign-on screen, meaning you don't need to remember multiple passwords or usernames or separate logins. Whatever your username is and password is for Practice Fusion, it will remain the same for your UpDocs account. Once those are linked, you are ready to roll. No need to jump from window to window or search for your admin rights for anything unless you've somehow lost all of your passwords for everything. You should be able to log into UpDocs very easily. Once logged into UpDocs, you will land in the inbox. The inbox is separated and color-coded, so you're able to easily access exactly what you're looking for, whether that be an upload. So we actually have a drag and drop feature from your desktop. So if you have a form that you wanted to fill out or edit, you could actually just drag and drop that directly into the inbox and those show up in red. Or if you're looking for a fax, those show up in blue. So you can jump into the inbox and see pretty quickly what you've got to sort through for the day if you do have one person triaging all of those messages together. And this is just a quick look at how they can hover over different documents so you can see exactly what you're clicking into before clicking in. So saving a lot of that time rather than having to sort through a million different papers within a patient's chart or click through a full file send, you can actually just click and hover through things. So it just saves a lot of time and just gives you a little bit more ease in your day. And then from here, you're also able to edit documents. So say you're hovering over something that might need a little bit of annotation involved. You can actually do text additions. You can highlight, redact. We even have checkboxes and a one-click provider signature. That's really one of the big differentiators for us is that, yes, you're able to edit documents as you see fit, but you can also then task your provider to make sure they're signing off on things without having to print anything off, without having to track anybody down. You're able to easily and simply see those documents, get them signed off, and then send out accordingly. And just a quick look at the editor in action. It's really intuitive. We do offer free training, but as you can see, if you've used Microsoft Word before, or if you've used even Paint on the computer, I know growing up, I used to use Paint all the time, so I was really quick to learn the editor here. But you're able to mark and make sure the provider or the other staff member that you might be sending this off to sees only what they need to see or sees the important information that they need to see. And then from there, you just save and send out. Now, one thing that we've noticed is that there is a single office manager or office admin that's triaging a lot of the documents and paperwork that's coming into the office. One really awesome feature we have that enables that staff member to kind of sort and organize documents according to who needs to see them or priority is our tags. We offer 39 different colored tags where you're able to file those exactly how you need to, and they are fully customizable. So dependent on the workflow that your practice already has in place, you can name these tags accordingly. We've seen a lot of practices use them on priorities, so marking the green as low, the orange as medium, and the red as high priority. And then also we've seen for locations with multiple providers, you can actually tag them per provider or per team member, depending on who needs to see what. That way, when that person is logging into UpDocs, they can simply click on their tag and only see what's necessary for them to see. Another really cool way that you can organize the documents coming in and out of the practice is with our queue. So as you can see here to the left, depending on how big your practice is or how many providers you have or how many different teams you have around the practice, you can actually set up different lines so that if there is an admin staff that you don't necessarily want them to be able to see and sort through every document coming in, you can tag them in their own queue, making it really simple that they're only seeing what they need to, similar to the tags, but kind of a more assured way that you know what you're getting. So you'll have your own phone line set up with that queue, and only things that need to come to you will come to you. And you can just click in there and kind of sort through documents as necessary. And this is just another quick picture to see a doctor logging in for the day and clicking on their tag only to see exactly what's necessary for them. And then the single sign. So your provider signature can be uploaded as a PDF or a TIFF image. So you're able to just add that in there and then click and sign documents off as needed. So to wrap it up quickly, with UpDocs for Practice Fusion, users can eliminate the manual process. So you can kick that fax machine really to the curb and eliminate the costs associated with manual operations. So you can cut out the cost of paper, toner, the extra phone line you might be using. And by cutting out all those time-sucking processes, your staff is able to devote more time back to what really matters, building that relationship with your patient and providing the most excellent care possible, and really making them more happy. And then streamlining communication. Providing that provider-to-provider communication is key to connecting the full care team and making sure you're delivering the best possible care. Especially in time-sensitive patient follow-up, you will never miss a message. It will all be in the UpDocs inbox. And not to mention the UpDocs inbox is remote accessible. So anywhere with an internet connection, you can actually log into your UpDocs account. So if you're away from the practice that day, but you're waiting on some time-sensitive documents that you need to get back to a referral source, you have access to doing that all from wherever you might have Wi-Fi. And it's all secure. And again, we help you improve that efficiency. So we try to make you and your practice staff real experts at efficiency. So creating those workflows that best fit your practice and best fit the way you work with your patients and the day-to-day routine that you already have set in place. We aren't necessarily trying to come in and kind of mix your practice work up. We make it customizable enough that you are actually able to come in here and build the workflow that you see fit. So just a quick word from one of our longtime users, Dr. Miller. At UpDocs, we aren't trying to put a Band-Aid on your issues. We try to research the real struggles that practices face on a day-to-day basis, especially when it comes to those administrative workloads. And we try to develop strategies and solutions that fix them. With UpDocs, you're able to run your practice on your terms while improving those big overall efficiencies. So now I will jump into the questions portion. Again, we also have a new number. So if you are familiar with UpDocs and you've called our line before, we do have an 866 number now. So if you're not familiar with that, definitely write this down, or you can always email sales@updocs.com or info@updocs.com, and we can get some answers for you on it.